Vikas Ranjan Shar is a common denominator in the success of
My name is Dr. Sachin Goel. I have secured All India Rank 209 in CSE 2023. This was my 5th attempt, and in this video I am going to be talking about some of the common mistakes that you should avoid during this preparation. The mistakes that you do in the beginning of the journey can ruin your actual whole preparation. So first of all, first mistake that people do is they come into this preparation without understanding what civil services are. Many of them are aware of the top 2-3 services, that is IAS, IPS, IRS, but they are not aware that there are a total of 21 services that you can get into via this exam. People are unaware about the benefits of going to these services. So for firstling, if you are preparing for an exam, you should at least know what services they are offering, what are the perks, remunerations, everything, career prospects. Once you are aware of this, you will be equally or more motivated towards that service. Second thing that people do is not planning their attempts. This is the mistake that I did. I gave my first attempt after only 2 months of preparation. I was a little overconfident in my preparation. I thought, why not? I have cleared the exam, AIMS exam already. So this exam is also an easy exam for me, and I'll do it in 2 months. But that was the biggest blunder that I did. And that is one thing I would advise you all. Plan your attempts very carefully. It is a tough exam, but if you plan your attempts, if you take a good amount of time before giving your attempt, you will be more confident in your preparation, and there are more chances for you to succeed. Thirdly, choosing your optional subject. Many a times people do this mistake of choosing a trending optional subject, not knowing whether it is the best for them or not. Similar case happened with me as well. I was forced by a lot of people to go for anthropology or psychology as an optional subject rather than medical science, which was my graduation subject. But this is one thing that I did correctly. I did not agree to those people, and I selected medical science as my optional only. And as a result of it, it helped me because it was my graduation subject. I was thorough with the subject. I had ample amount of writing practice in that subject, and any kind of question that comes into the paper will come from the syllabus that I was taught in my college. So choosing your optional in which you have proper interest rather than choosing an optional which is showing good marks, because the trend changes every year, and some optional that might be trendy this year might not be next year. So choose your optional wisely. Fourthly, since this time there is around the time of results, there are a lot of proper strategy videos in the market. Everyone is talking about a new strategy. Let me tell you one thing. If 1,000 people are selected for this exam, there are 1,000 different strategies in the market. You have to choose your strategy very wisely, and you have to faith on the strategy that you have chosen for yourself. I have seen many people focusing on the planning part. I have seen people making timetables for complete years. The problem is they never execute them. So I believe that choosing the strategy, planning, and sticking to it is more important than changing the strategy too often. If you are confident about the strategy, stick to it. Change the strategy only when you think that it is not giving you results after a due time. You don't have to be super rigid as well, because this exam needs flexibility in approach as well. Fourthly, I have seen that many of the candidates, once they start their preparation for UPSC, they think they get into many political debates around aspirants around them and form strong political opinions. The point is, this is an exam which has to be treated like that. If you are focused too much on the side things which are not coming into the paper, you are just wasting your time. Please do not get into unnecessary debates and controversies. You have to use your time wisely to focus on the syllabus and complete it. The another problem that I see that aspirants make is having too many 0 days in their preparation. This is something that I suffered from during my first 3 attempts, where I was not even able to clear prelims. The thing that was lacking was consistency in my performance. The point is, no matter how many hours you put in a day, if you are not putting enough hours the next day, that day's preparation is gone to waste. So make sure that you have a balanced approach in your preparation and there is consistency in your preparation. It doesn't matter how less or more you study in a day. The most important part is to study every day. That will ensure that the momentum that you have created for yourself is maintained, and you are confident, and definitely you will gain confidence in your preparation. The thing is, when people commit another mistake is, the moment they start their UPSC preparation, they start calling themselves UPSC aspirants, which is a tag they carry around with much proud. The problem is, this exam requires secrecy to some extent. The more exposed you are to people, the more people you are telling that you are preparing for this examination, the more you will be prone to anxiety in the future stages of the exam if by God's will you are not able to clear it in the first or second attempt. So to avoid unnecessary anxiety, you should avoid these tags like UPSC aspirants. Simple logic is work hard in silence and let your success make the noise. Another thing is, now if we come to the prelims part, before when I did not clear the prelims for 3 consecutive times, I realized a few things. Some of the mistakes that I did was not solving enough mock papers. If you are not solving enough mock papers, you are not aware of how to handle the questions. The paper that we saw in 2023 was a very tough paper, not because of the toughness level of the question, but because of the unfamiliarity that people had with the questions. Such questions could be tackled if you have a good question solving ability. I was able to secure 95 number in prelims despite such a tough paper because I was very sure of my methodology of solving a question. In any prelims paper, any topper might not know more than 60 to 70% of the questions. But the point is, you have to attempt more than that to create a comfortable buffer for yourself so that you can clear the exam. And that could be done only if you practice as many mocks as you can. Another thing for prelims is I have seen many aspirants struggling to find new material 30 days, 40 days before the prelims examination. I believe that is something which is a disastrous thing. For last 1 or 2 months before prelims, I think one should stick to the material that they have already been referring to and should focus on revising that material again and again rather than finding new material to focus on and study. This will create more negative marks for you in the examination, as the material that you will read, you will not be able to read more than 2 or 3 times. And if you are not reading anything for 4 or 5 times before prelims, there is a high probability that you are going to mark it as a wrong question in an exam. So avoid doing that. Every mark matters. There was a prelims where I missed the cutoff by 0.6 number. So every negative marking also matters. Be aware of that. Thirdly, there are points when you give a lot of mocks. I have seen aspirants losing their self-confidence before the prelims examination due to the low score in mocks. I would say to all of them that the score that you get in mocks is not very important or relevant in your relevant to your preparation. The most important part here is practicing more questions. So there is no point in losing self-confidence over these things, because the only thing which matters in this whole UPSC preparation is how confident you are regarding your preparation. The more confident you are, the more easily you would be able to handle the issues that this exam throws to you. Coming to the mains part, I have seen some students making mechanical or mindless notes. What I mean by this is, people are making notes not being aware of the questions that are actually asked in the exams. They are making rigorous notes, they are doing hard work, but it is not yielding them any method. For them, I would advise that please solve the PYQs, read the PYQs and understand what the exam demands from you. If you see that the questions sometimes are very specific, and if you are not writing the notes in a similar manner, you won't be able to revise the whole syllabus before the exam. And revision is the key here. If you are not able to revise before the exam, you won't be able to produce a very good answer in the paper. So solve PYQs, understand the demand of the question and make notes according to that. Now, some paper specific mistakes that people do, especially in GS1, I have seen people not making maps in questions related to geography and writing very generalized answer in the society section. Please make maps. It is visually appealing and it gives the examiner an idea that you are well aware of the topic. For questions of sections of society, history, these are very generalized questions sometimes and people write very generalized answer for that. I advise that please try to inculcate some of the good terms that you learn from the syllabus and during the preparation, and try to put those terms in the paper as well. Underline them, highlight them. The examiner should know that you are different from other candidates and you have written something important in your paper as well. Regarding GS2, many people don't write Supreme Court judgments, relevant judgments in the answer sheets. It is also one paper which people think that can be covered only by Lakshmikant. It is not so. You have to read a certain other books as well, certain other material as well, certain other material specifically for the GS paper. And if you are writing a very general answer, you will get very general marks in GS2. Nowadays we have seen people scoring 120 above in GS2. So this can be a very important factor for you which can differentiate your score from others. Write relevant judgments, relevant articles, every possible answer that you can. Regarding international relation also, please use specific terms if it comes to it, and please in international relation I also used to try to make certain some rough diagrams, something which shows the examiner that you are aware of the condition or the map, the profiling, at least the places where those locations are located. So it gives a very good impression to the examiner. For GS3, we have seen in recent time that people are not scoring much marks above in GS3. I scored 101 marks in this mains, which is amongst one of the highest in the country. And I think one thing that helped me most was I used enough data in my answers so that the examiner is able to identify certain key points in your answer, that okay, is in this answer he has written some committee recommendation, in this answer he has written some data, relevant data. If the more data you use in GS3, the more number you will get. For GS4, another same thing. People are not writing examples in their answers. My score increased by around 20 marks. I scored around 89 in 2022. I got around 109 in 2023. And this increase in score was solely possible because I used a lot of examples and lot of real life examples. The more examples that you put, the more the impressed will be the examiner. Also, I have seen that people focus more on the section B, that is the case studies part. You have to understand one thing: the examiner usually starts checking your paper from section A. So don't create an impression that you are not aware of certain things by leaving that section blank. Make sure that you have filled the section A completely and have written good material in the section A as well. There is a upper limit to the marks that you can get in any of the question. So it doesn't matter how well you write one question, you have to make sure that your whole paper is above average, so that you can good score in those papers. For essay, the mistake that people usually make in the exam hall is they don't understand the topic and they start writing the essay on it. It doesn't matter if you take 5 or 10 minutes extra in your paper and select the topic. The most important point is selecting a topic which you understand and you have some content to write on it. Your 10 minutes won't matter much, but if the examiner feels that you have not understood the topic in any way, he will definitely cut your marks and it will reflect in your poor score as well. So for that, I would advise, please select the topic very carefully. Other than that, for a general answer writing purpose, I believe that students avoid giving mocks before the mains examination with the fear that they are not ready or they have not completed the syllabus. I believe that in any form, writing practice is important. There definitely can be a question in the paper about which you have no knowledge. So you have to be ready for those events as well. If you are waiting for the right time will never come. The day you start your mains preparation, you have to start your answer writing. It is only one thing that is going to be reflected in your paper very easily. It will show, trust me, it will help you a lot. And while answer writing, try avoiding answers in long paragraphs. Understand the psychology of an examiner who is sitting there to check your paper. If he or she has to struggle a lot in finding the relevant keywords in your answer, he or she will definitely give you less mark as compared to an average score. Please make this job easy for the examiner. Write those answer and points, highlight those points, make sure that the relevant points are easily and clearly visible to the examiner. If you do this, you will score definitely very good marks in mains. For interview, I have seen some common mistakes that I have seen is firstly being dishonest in the detailed application form. There is a section called hobbies and interest. I have seen many candidates writing hobbies and then starting those hobbies after writing them in the in the form. Trust me, the examiners there are very well versed with these antics and they can easily understand what the student is trying to do. Please do not try to become someone you are not. They are there just to check your honesty, your integrity, how your overall personality is. Please be confident in that and avoid dishonesty at every cost. Give mock interviews, take relevant suggestions and work on them. This will help you a lot in the interview process. And the one thing that goes without saying is please dress sharply. Do not think that these things don't matter. Everything matters. They are also human. They also have a simple idea in life. Appearance does play some role in the interview. I believe that. Please dress nicely, be honest, and you will do well in the interviews as well. So these are some common mistakes that I have seen people making. I have made them in my preparation. I hope that you learn from these mistakes of mine and others and not repeat them. Best of luck for your future.